Hey, how's it going tonight, everybody? Patrick Henry, Midwest Preparedness Project, and BAM!
What's up, folks?
Bags. We're live tonight. We're bringing on our favorite friends, and so I'd like to introduce BAM, Miss Nicole Sauce, living free in Tennessee, and BAM, Mrs. Shelley with two old crows. Jason is out sick tonight, and I'm dealing with the crud myself, so I'm going to try to just sit here and look pretty and let Spags do all the fun stuff.
All right, well, let's give Patrick's voice a rest. He's not feeling well. Thanks for being here and officiating tonight with all the technical stuff that I would never be able to do. So for those of you tuning in, this is the first live for the Great American Preparedness Tour for the 2024 year. This is the spring season kickoff. The first event of the Great American Preparedness Tour is going to be Kentucky Sustainable Living on March 23rd and 24th. So without further ado, Shelley, why don't you tell us about your event coming up and what's going to happen?
Okay. So as you can see on the screen, you can go to KentuckySustainableLiving.com to get all of the information. We're super excited about this event. We have an awesome lineup of speakers. One of them is going to be William Bond. He's the permaculture consultant now, but everybody knows he came from Permapastures Farm. He's going to be talking about homesteading and permaculture, and he's actually going to be giving, he's going to be talking about soil health. And sorry about that. Who else do we have? We've got Toolman Tim is going to be coming and talking about stopping the poverty mindset. We're actually going to have the awesome Nicole Sauce coming and talking about pantry management because she's really, really good at that. We're going to have the Angry Prepper there. He is going to be talking about bugging out of urban environments. Who else? We're going to have Angry American. I am super excited about him. And I have to be honest, when Jason first told me about him, I didn't have a clue who he was. I ain't gonna lie. I'm more the homesteader than I am the prepper. I know that I'm kind of like in the prepper thing right now, but Jason was super excited, told me that he got Chris Weatherman. I said, I don't know who Chris Weatherman is. I didn't want to look like an idiot not knowing who he was, so I got his first book and read it. Not his first one. I mean, I guess I don't know what order he wrote all of his books in, but he's got the Survivalist series, and the first book in that is Going Home. I am now completely and totally addicted. I'm on book 8 and I can't stop reading them. I love them. They are so awesome. We're going to have a guy there talking about how to make apple cider vinegar. We're going to have Leslie Gossett. She's going to be talking about making tinctures and doing a herbal walk. We've got a couple guys from Naked and Afraid. They're not going to be scary and they're going to have clothes on, but one of them is Gary Golding and he's going to be building a bug out bag. And then we've got, what is the other guy's name? EJ Snyder. He's going to be talking about situational awareness. That's just a few of them. You need to come check it out. You're going to go away with all kinds of information. We're also going to do a sheep processing. So, check it out, KentuckySustainableLiving.com. You can go there and get your tickets. Tickets are $35 each. Children 17 and under are free. If you use coupon code email25, you can get $10 off your ticket. And that's good up until the day before the festival. You have to do that online. What else? What am I forgetting?
The dinner.
Jason usually talks about that. See what happens when he doesn't show up?
Yeah, that guy.
Stupid germs.
Saturday night, we are doing our charity dinner for Vets for Child Rescue. If you don't know who Vets for Child Rescue are, you need to go check them out. They rescue kids from horrific situations, sex trafficking, all of that stuff. Last year, we raised almost $11,000. We found out that it cost them roughly $10,000 to do a sting operation where they go in and, catch people doing bad stuff and take care of them. They partner up with local law enforcement, and they're showing you on the screen right now. You can see You can go check out their video called Contra Land. You need to go watch that. It tells all about what they do. It's a documentary about what they do. It's on YouTube. It's free. Go check it out and see what they do. Tickets to that dinner are $250. You can come and rub elbows with all of our speakers. You can pick their brain, get a little bit of one-on-one time with them, and talk to them about whatever you want to talk about. We're also going to have an auction. Everything from that dinner and the auction goes to benefit Vets for Child Rescue. So come on out and help us save some kids.
I was there last year in the fall, and I actually got to be their auctioneer, which was the first time I'd ever been an auctioneer. And it was awkward AF, but it was for a great cause.
He did great.
Oh, man. And there were so many cool people in the audience. I remember Billy was there from Perma Pastures. Tag from Lifetime Free was there. Chuck from Homestead Medical was there. I know I'm going to be forgetting some. I think, Eric from Porterhouse and Teal was there. There was a lot of people there from the YouTube community. And I'm sorry if I missed a name. I know I missed a name. But what I came away with was actually meeting some of the guys that did this stuff and talking with them behind the scenes. And it was probably one of the most emotionally impactful things about your event was that dinner. So yeah, great charity, folks. If you have an opportunity to go to this and you can come up with the cash to go to this dinner, it is absolutely worth it.
The dinner that we're going to be having is a prime rib dinner. It's catered by the WKU Ag Expo Center. They do a fantastic job with that dinner. But obviously, you're not paying $250 for a prime rib dinner. You're paying $250 to save kids. Yeah. So come check it out. It's a good time. It was an awesome night. I saw amazing people do amazing things that night. It was awesome. So I highly recommend it. Please come and join us.
Heck yeah.
Where is this going to be located at, Shelley? Where's the location this year?
So we're in Bowling Green, Kentucky at the WKU Ag Expo Center. It's the same place it was last year. The whole event is indoors. So it doesn't matter if it rains or whatever, you're not going to get wet. You're going to be able, we've got, oh my gosh, I think we're up to about 65 vendors now. So we're going to have a whole house full of vendors.
How many vendors?
I think we're up to 65. I think.
Holy cow. Last year you had like what, 20 maybe? So you
it was, I think we had 30 last year. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, absolutely. We're super excited about that. All across the spectrum, we've got prepper people coming in. We've got a ton of homesteaders. You're going to be able to seriously find some soap and some handmade stuff and tinctures and bread and all of that other stuff that you get from homesteaders. It's just going to be awesome. We're also going to have a petting zoo. And I'm super excited because we've got one vendor coming in that have those really cool Scottish Highland calves, the really hairy ones with the bows and stuff. Yeah. And so they've even got a photo booth thing set up. So bring your kids and get their pictures taken with those cute Highland calves.
Who do you have as sponsors this year so far?
Oh my gosh. Now this is Jason's area. Give me a second. I think I have this written down somewhere. He keeps up with this. Nope, I've got it right here. We've got the Homestead Twins, McMurray Hatcheries, PlanterBoxDirect.com, Dakota Lithium Batteries, Microbiometer Soil Test Company. I'm not going to say this right. Yola Ness Solar Generator. Did I say that right? Yola Ness? I don't know.
The lights are still on.
Moss Tactical, Patriot Power Source, Wilco Training Solutions, Forever Communications. That's the company that is doing our radio commercials, and they actually gave us a bunch of free spots for our dinner that night. So I'm very thankful to them. Nice. Right Implement, which is John Deere tractors, and DeVries Leather. Y'all know Bruce, right? Yep. Bruce is awesome. We love Bruce. And Tractor Supply. And the knife guy. Who's the knife guy?
Which knife guy?
Maybe
the knife guy?
Patrick from MT Knives.
Yes.
Nice. The other Patrick.
So we're super excited about that. Yeah.
Cool. Well, you can add one more to that. Spags Unfiltered will be sponsoring you again. I've just got to figure out what I'm going to send you this year. So I will get with you later. Same to you, Nicole. I will be sponsoring Self-Reliance Festival.
Well, and the same goes for Hollow Roast. I just keep forgetting to reach out to both of you because I'm doing my own festival, and gosh.
Good. I'm actually on Discord talking with Letty about changing the certificate because last year it was a different number. This year it's a different number. So we're just making sure it's all taken care of. So, all right, Shelly, it sounds like you're going to have a badass show. And what's really cool about it is that you're the first one this year. So why don't we all talk about what the tour is going to be doing special this year?
Yay!
Shelly, show yours first since you're the first show. As you all know, all of us have come up with this thing we call the Great American Preparedness Tour. And it's essentially a group of shows, Midwest Preparedness, Self-Reliance Festival, and Kentucky Sustainable Living, or the 3 shows on the tour. And the idea is to get you out of your comfort zone, off your ass, and out into the community where you can meet like-minded folks. Shelly just showed you their token. Midwest Preparedness has its token. And I still have my Self-Reliance Festival token that I got last year because Nicole's the one who actually started the concept of the poker chip. So what does this mean? What this means is in 2024, all of us now have a token. We have our poker chip. To complete the Great American Preparedness Tour, you have to visit each of the festivals one time, and we each have 2 throughout the year. Nicole, what are the dates for your spring festival coming next?
April 6th and 7th in Camden, Tennessee.
All right, so that's the second date, and then Midwest Preparedness is May 7th through 12th near Lawrence, Kansas. These are the 3 events. Each of us have these. Now, we're not going to hand these tokens out to you people. If you think you're going to attend all 3, you need to find one of the pretty faces you see here, and you need to say, I intend to complete the Great American Preparedness Tour. And you have to ask Nicole, Shelly, myself, Patrick, and I'm going to guess John and probably Jason, and it will be that.
Well, Amanda has them, and John may or may not have them, and I usually, my information booth person will have them.
Okay, so before each show or during each show, I assume each show promoter is going to let you know where you can get these chips. If you ask for one, you need to be sincere because we're only buying so many of these because, well, to keep your costs low, we have to keep our costs low. The cool thing is if you collect all 3 during 2024 and you provide proof, probably I would say early November, we're going to collect a list of you and there will be a special secret prize that is going to be mailed to you for completing the tour. And what I will tell you is that this is not a token. It is not some BS Temu thing we're going to give you. We are going to send you a legitimate preparedness item, a homesteading item that you can use, but that will also be very, very exclusive and limited to the tour.
And I will add, because I know what the item is, but we're not going to talk about that, that some of you who come from other countries, we may be sending you a totally different item because we cannot necessarily send the item to every country.
This is true. I'm sorry if you live in a country that sits left of center on things.
If you sit in a country where we can't mail this item, you need to be thinking really hard about that.
Yep. I don't know, man. This
That's
product
so sad.
comes from a foreign country. It might be okay.
I can think of one country in particular where.
Yeah, we're not shipping anything to Syria.
Maybe. I mean, you never know.
That's true. All right,
Stranger
so
things
Joey,
happen.
we've talked about your show. We've talked about the tour. We've talked about the tokens. Anybody who wants to find out more information on the preparedness tour should go to thepreparednesstour.com. And the cool thing about that landing page is it will take you to the webpage of all 3 of the shows that are part of that tour. Now, the second tour this spring is going to be Nicole's. Nicole, I know that your show is still in development, but why don't you tell us what you can tell us about your show?
Well, as usual, when we start arranging these shows, we're like, who's going to speak and what are we going to do? And it always feels a little amorphous at first. And then all of a sudden it just like lines up and it all works out. Angry American will also be at our show. And we're doing a book signing with him. And that'll be pretty darn cool. I've got John Willis talking. We're going to do a girl power panel. Entitled to nothing, earn everything. So we're going to have a shooting straight panel with Amanda Willis, myself, and Don Gorham from Gorham Homestead.
Nice.
Awesome.
And that came out of last time somebody asked, what do I do if my husband won't eat the food I grow? And Amanda said he can effing starve.
Yes.
Right?
That's not a man.
You know, it's like, or he can go get his own food, but like, what are you doing? Like, you're on a homestead doing this. So we're gonna share some hard truths as part of that panel. It's gonna be a really fun one. You would think I'd know this off the top of my head because I literally wrote this up. Do you know who Alan Booker is?
Ooh.
Alan Booker is one of the top minds in permaculture.
Yes.
And he's done a lot of permaculture design courses, but he is in the process of finishing a book called The Resilient Kitchen, I believe is the name of it, something along that lines. And he has a talk that's basically how resilient is your kitchen. And he has 5 categories you can analyze on how you organize your kitchen, what is regenerative in your kitchen. Like if you're growing herbs and you have a process where you dry them and you use them, then that's regenerative. So it's connecting the kitchen to the permaculture life that you develop around you, to your homestead. And when he told me that topic, because his other option was related to seed saving, which is also super important, I was like, no, this is people who grow and preserve and want to get into this resilient lifestyle need to understand that your kitchen now works differently. And it's a real shock. I mean, I'm sure Shelly's been through it. It's a shock at first when you're like, all I ever do are dishes.
Yeah.
Right. And then when you're canning and you have to cook dinner too, and you're like, wait, whoops. I shouldn't have done that. Like I should have thought what was for dinner before I canned. Like all of these things that seem second nature when you've done it for a long time. He's going to dive into that, but also he talks about just how to bring the food that you produce, you know, through the process into food that you can eat, because that's the other thing we have with homesteaders is they get excited, they go out, they plant the garden, they get the things, and then they're like, now what? I've never cooked a kohlrabi in my life. What do I do? Right.
Right.
What do I do with the cow's tongue? It's a, you know.
Get a new husband.
Right.
I love you.
I agree, Skanes girl.
So I've been like, from the time he started talking about that, I couldn't keep it under my hat. Finally, I'm like, listen, we can't do this other topic because I'm just way too excited about your kitchen topic. Mike Shelby will be there from Forward Observer talking about using your local contacts to establish a local area intelligence network. We've got a plant medicine basics class from Leslie Gossett. And then we also found a veterinarian who does natural animal care, Tracy Farley. So it's called Something to Chew On, The Lies Told by the Pet Food and Veterinary Industry. And she's going to be talking about her perspective on some of the things that we do that have been sort of influenced by big pharma. So there's a pretty big health focus in this as well. Sean Mills is going to be there talking about what to do in a grid down situation and how to increase your energy resilience. And then, of course, Evan Dixon is going to talk about making your off-grid communications plan. He had a different topic, and then the infamous AT&T outage happened.
Yeah.
At the same time, the second balloon went over.
Yeah. So he changed his topic. Yoda and Grumpy are going to be there. They're talking about how they opted out of the system by building their homestead. Sonny Puzikas is talking about, so he's a badass, right? He teaches people how to defend themselves. He was in Russia when it crumbled. He was in the military, so he's seen a thing or two in the violence world. And what he is known for is teaching people how to win in a fight and firearms training. And what he's actually talking about is the science and art of de-escalation. If you don't have to have the fight, then you definitely don't get hurt. But right before, he's doing a workshop called Fight Like a Girl, that's oriented on women's self-defense. If you're a man, you can take the class, but he's going to go through how to use what women are best at to come out on top and get away.
Yep.
And so that class is one I really, really, really wish I could take.
Yeah.
But Imani and Paul Richardson are coming out and doing a hempcrete demo. We've got a Texas chainsaw mill coming out and a whole bunch of other fun demos. So that's not everything, but it's a nutshell for you.
That's the funnest part. So
the funnest part is distilling for fuel.
For fuel.
For fuel.
For fuel.
For fuel.
Yes.
Shelly, real quick, before we move on to the next segment, tell everybody what social medias Kentucky Sustainable Living is on. So if folks prefer one or another, they can find you guys.
You can find almost all of our stuff on Jason's YouTube channel, Kentucky Sustainable Living. Honestly, for other socials, we're mainly on Facebook. I can't think of, I think because that's hooked up with Jason's stuff, and I think it might go to Instagram too, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But we do have Kentucky Sustainable Living page on Facebook, and you can find all of the stuff there too. It just points back to our website. The website is the thing that we update regularly. If you go and sign up for our newsletter through our website, I send out a newsletter on Mondays and Thursdays. So updating a couple times a week with anything new that comes out.
Do you have an email list that people can sign up for that?
Yeah, they can get to that. It'll pop up when you go to the website, KentuckySustainableLiving.com, for them to sign up for the email list. So go check it out.
Okay. Nicole, what about you? What's your socials?
So Self-Reliance Festival has a Telegram group. It has a TikTok channel, an Instagram channel, and a Facebook channel, and a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And we put out every Thursday at 7 p.m. we go live. So right now, this is our live for this Thursday. And, we talk about a different thing festival related every time. And then you can also, of course, find out through LFTN, Living Free in Tennessee, and Special Operations Equipment, because we simulcast to those stations. But if you really want all things festival, it's selfreliancefestival.com is the website where things happen. That's where you can sign up for our email list. And that's a weekly email. What happens between now and our event, like our early bird pricing expires at the end of the day tomorrow. So this week, people who are on our list and have not bought tickets are going to get more than one email. But I don't like to spam people. So I try to keep it to once a week. And once you buy your ticket, once a week, we update the lists and we send a different email if you're already signed up versus if you haven't signed up, just because, like the people who've signed up now want to know how parking works and how camping works and how all of those things work for the festival. This year, we are not charging for parking. It's included in your ticket because that's just easier. I don't know why we didn't think about that 2 years ago, right? And
trial and error.
Right. So those are the socials. It's just Self-Reliance Festival or Self-Reliance Fest on any of those.
Nice.
All right. Well, the third show this spring will be, of course, Midwest Preparedness. So, Patrick, why don't you tell people where people can find out information on Midwest Preparedness Project?
Yeah, so Midwest Preparedness Project is also on most of your platforms. Now, some of those we pay more attention to than others. Like, obvious, we can't be everywhere all at the same time, but we really do like our Discord, our Facebook, and our YouTube channels. We try to pay attention to those. And then, following down the line, I think we have X and we have Twitter. Well, no, that is X. All of those things. Insta spam, Rumble, we have all of those, but mainly we dwell in the Discord, Facebook, and YouTube world.
Yep, that's true. For the longest time, our alternative to Facebook was MeWe, but as MeWe has been dying after they went to the Web Plus stuff that some people didn't like, we moved our stuff over to Discord. So now Midwest Preparedness has a Discord. So go to Discord and find The Real Midwest Preparedness. The cool thing about our Discord is it's not just about us. You can find all of our sponsors who have a YouTube channel. We're slowly setting those up so it auto-populates. I'm working with folks from Kentucky Sustainable Living and Self-Reliance Festival, and everybody else. You'll find Toolman Tim. You'll find Living Free in Tennessee. You'll find Tag from Life Done Free. You'll find all of them, man, all of them. And the reason we do that is so that we believe that when people give to us, we have to give back. And so with our social medias, we certainly try to give all of our partners a voice in order to promote them alongside of us, because there's no point in having competition, in my opinion anyway, within the prepper sphere. We should all be a team working together. That's the magic of what the Great American Preparedness Tour is all about. Patrick, is there anything you want to share yet about ours? Ours is the last show in the spring, so it's not as matured yet in this season as the first two, but is there anything you want to put out there to tease people about what they might find at the Midwest Preparedness Project this year?
Yeah, you just never know what's going to show up at the Midwest Preparedness Project. You know, we've seen rabbits and tigers and bears, oh my. We've seen, you know, all kinds of fun things and fire spinny things and rock band things. You just never know what's going to show up. Maybe you'll have, you know, a full blown circus. Maybe you'll have some, who knows?
Well, one thing I do know that we are trying to do, and I believe Nicole is also doing this, is we're trying to start spearheading the idea that prepping is not male-centric. It can be, but it doesn't only have to be. And so I know for a fact that these events are featuring more female speakers than most other events, and that we are certainly pushing the narrative that this is for women too. And one of the things we find often in the center-right world of the prepper sphere and the homesteading sphere is that there's a lot of push for traditional families, which I think all of us can agree to some degree is healthy for a society. However, what that generally means is when you go to a prepping show, you will find the guys running in and they go to the gun dealer and they sit there for like 2 hours deciding how much money they're going to ask their wife that they can spend. And what you'll find at these shows, and I've been putting these shows on for a long time. Patrick has, Nicole has, you know, Shelly's been to a bunch of this stuff too. The guy will run to the gun table or the body armor table and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But the woman who's got a baby in one arm and pushing a stroller with the next is going through and looking at the essential oils and the raw honey and the medical table and the yarn spinning and the water filters and all this other stuff that the guy just blows right past. So I think what we're going to say to the women in the audience and to the women who are absolutely the driving force behind the prepper sphere is that we know you're there and you will be seen. And 2024 might very well just be the year of the woman in prepping when it comes to the Great American Preparedness Tour.
I think the perspective from the female on prepping is different than the male. Like
Agreed.
I was on with John Willis and Angry American, and Angry American's like, sorry, Nicole, but blah, 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 dude stuff. And I was like, yeah, I have a different perspective on why I'm a prepper. I am a prepper because I was a homesteader first.
Right.
And I hate going to the grocery store. So it basically started with the pantry because I didn't want to have to go to the grocery store anymore. And then I started realizing all the things that could go wrong. And the last thing that I shored up was knowing how to use my gun better.
Yes.
Because I don't want to even think about that.
Right. How cool would it be someday if we can get to the point where any particular area of the prepper sphere, the homesteading areas, are no longer seen as male-centric or female-centric, but it's just, if you're a homesteader, you have these skills. If you're a prepper, you have these skills. And the junk between your legs you were born with doesn't drive it anymore.
Whoa, that drives me.
I mean, well, okay, you might be still operating on manual, but just saying. But no, like seriously, strong families build strong communities, and strong families are not built on just one person. They're built on all the people of that family. And I think what you'll find with the Great American Preparedness Tour this year, and even last year, but this year we're really, driving the narrative, is that there's something for everybody. And you can be the guy who shows up and wants to go to the gun table. You can be the girl who shows up and wants to go to the essential oils table. It's all going to be there, and everybody is welcome, and everybody is a vital part of this community. And I think we will find that as we begin to drive that particular narrative, we're going to find skills and we're going to find abilities that may in the past decades have been ignored, and that will create a better community overall. Shelley, what do you think about that?
I totally agree with that. When Randy and I first started getting into this, it was about homesteading, and it was about, I never really referred to it or thought of it as prepping. To me, it was always being self-reliant, just having, like Nicole said, not having to depend on the grocery store. And more than that, not eating the stuff that they have at the grocery store that they're injecting with chemicals and all of that kind of stuff. That was really more than anything. But when you start getting into this and getting around like-minded people, then, somebody might make a comment about something, or, like, what do you do about security and all? And then that gets you thinking, and you're like, oh, okay, well, what do I do about that? So you just start talking to more people and putting yourself out and around those people. And I've made some fantastic friends at these festivals, and through YouTube met people at the festivals and all of that. And now if I have a problem, I can text somebody and they're like, hey, try this or try that. And it's just the greatest thing. The community part of it is the best part of it.
Amen.
Absolutely. Patrick, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just going to echo that. I don't want to say much. My throat hurts, but amen.
So I want to add a story to just sort of highlight Shelley's point, and that is that when you start going out of your own thing to other people's things, you meet, because I, like, as a festival organizer, you're like, man, I'm tired. I don't want to go to somebody else's event, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to yours, Shelley. I'm going to Midwest Preparedness. I've already been to Midwest Preparedness once. I'm stoked that I can go to Kentucky Sustainable Living. I want to get out to Mountain Readiness. We'll see. That's right after my homesteading thing. But because I've been going to this, and once, like, I try to go to some of our local homesteader meetings or preparedness meetings, mutual assistance groups like Brad Bleasdale talks about. And because I started going to Brad's and meeting with other regional people who do groups, I have found a connection who lives by the post office where my P.O. box is. And yesterday, after a lot of chasing rams around all week, because we have some rams that don't respect electric fences, and they're teaching the other sheep not to respect them, I had a talk with Tactical. I'm like, why do we raise sheep? And he said, for food. I'm like, why do we have rams? For sustainability. What if we didn't have rams and we just, like, brought one in once or twice a year? It would cost about the same, and we wouldn't spend every season when everybody comes into season, so to speak, and the boys become ridiculous. We wouldn't, like, have to deal with that in the same way. We'd have to deal with it for 35 days at a time. So I reached out to that guy, and I'm like, do you know anybody who has hair sheep? And it turns out, and I knew that this farm existed near me, the St. Croix farm, with the guy who who does what I do, rotates, no vaccines, none of it. Like, it's no pest prevention, because he's got strong genetics. And he's like, well, let me reach out to somebody. He reached out to that guy. And I would not have known how to find that person had that not happened. That's somebody who's 20 minutes from me who can provide a ram once a year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just from going to other people's things.
Yep.
That's why you got to leave your house. That's why like, YouTube's great. You can learn a lot. You need to go meet us in person.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Patrick, you've been to all of these shows before. What is your takeaway on getting out of your comfort zone and going outside to other mags, groups, events, festivals, expos, etc.?
All of us, most of us, I should say, are naturally introverted. Most of us are homely. Most of us would rather, get up and schlep in our our pajamas, and wear our Crocs or our house shoes out to the chicken coop and do our farm chores, with our hair messy and just, our bed head, that's what we typically tend to do. But
have you been watching my farm? Is that what's going on here? Have you been out here?
Oh, he's got a camera
up somewhere. Like, what the crap, Patrick? Come on.
Creepy.
I was just describing my farm this morning. But yeah, you know what? But it's true though. And we all can relate to that because, again, we get busy in our busy lives of doing just us, right? That if you don't make the time to get out and develop the network in those communities, like going to SRF, going to KSL, you miss out on opportunities to meet people like Jason, to meet people like Rosie, to meet people like Evan Dixon, to meet people like Chuck Peoples. Yep. I mean, all of these fantastic people that help me be a better person. I would not have known had I not got out of my comfort zone, left the comfort of my keyboard, and went and met these people and actually did the things that we talk about doing. So it's just as important to understand the skill and know the skill and be able to find the skill on YouTube. But it's another thing to put it in practice and actually go meet people and attend a workshop. Go to SRF, go to KSL, and take one of the classes. I mean, I think Spags hit the nail on the head here a while back when him and another buddy of ours did a special on if you carry a firearm for self-defense and you don't carry medical, then
F you.
But that's it. So I mean that just goes back to prove my point. You have to have the ability to go out and meet these people and network, so that way you can better yourself. Because none of us are Rambo. I mean, except Nicole. She's probably closer.
Totally Rambo.
She's
probably closer to Rambo than the rest of us. But
Nicole, I'm going to brag about you real quick. Oh, there it is. All right, guys, check this out. Last fall, Nicole came and spoke at Midwest Preparedness. Her event was the very next weekend. She didn't let it get her down. She contacted me and said, I will be there. If a show promoter wrangling 600 to 800 people on private property, managing social media, managing a crowd, managing personalities, which is not easy to do sometimes, managing egos, because let's face it, the Prepperverse is full of egos. If she can come to my show 5 days before her show, then you can get off your ass and go to Kentucky Sustainable Living and then to SRF and then to Midwest Preparedness. What say you all?
Yep.
Absolutely.
You can do it. We look forward to seeing you guys there. We promise that we will be kind if it's your first time. Actually, we won't. It'll be brutal. But you're gonna love it though.
The people you meet at these events are like you, and it makes it easier to be around them. And that's one thing. Like I was telling these guys, the two objections I've gotten so far about not wanting to come involve the sort of like that the eclipse is coming, and people are worried that there's going to be like the government's going to launch an attack synonymous with the eclipse. And the second one is the rapture. And I pose this question: if the rapture happens, does it matter where you are?
Right. Where's your faith?
And if you're making plans based on when you think the rapture is going to happen, you need to go read a book again.
Yeah.
I think it's those people that fear they're going to be on the wrong side of the rapture. That's what it is. They're like, I'm not going to be at home with all my preps
right.
when all my buddies just float off.
Well, I have to just ask, and okay, fair disclosure, I am a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. I'm also a prepper. And if you're a prepper...
And that's biblical, by the way. Go ahead.
It is.
Yep.
It is. You've seen our logo. You know why. But if you're that worried about it, then why is it that you should only have one prep, and it's a hatch in your roof? It's called the rapture hatch, and so you don't hit your head on the way out, right? If you are a prepper and you believe in the rapture at any stage of the millennial tribulation, whatever you believe, and you aren't only installing a hatch, it's because you know there's a chance you will still be here. So get off your ass and go to a festival. Don't let it be an excuse.
Yeah. But the other thing I do hear a lot is that people are like, I'm an introvert and I can't go to these things. Yes, you can.
You
Yep.
can.
That there are a lot of introverts at the events that we're
Yep.
at, and they don't care if you walk off by yourself to regenerate.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure. And we all do it, right? Even those of us who put ourselves out there. You know, Nicole has had me MC her event. I MC the Midwest Preparedness Project. I did the auction for Kentucky Sustainable Living. I put myself out there continuously. But what that means is I get drained very quickly. And so Nicole let me go into her trailer, and I got to go into the upstairs for John Willis, and Shelly and all them would take me in the back and give me a drink, right? So, like, it's okay if your battery only has so much potential, if you've only got so much, room for your charge to go up or down. But use it for what matters. Use it for something that will actually potentially raise your charge level just a little bit more. Because ultimately, the one point of being in the preparedness and homesteading circle is for self-improvement. And self-improvement doesn't happen if you continuously make excuses of why you can't do things.
And you will go away. Every festival that I have been to, I have learned so much. It doesn't matter. You might think that you know everything about canning. I promise you, somebody will teach you something new. You might think that you know everything about preparedness or medical stuff. Chuck Peoples will teach you all kinds of stuff you didn't know about medical stuff.
Yep.
You will. There's so many people there. It's such a wealth of information. And even the people who aren't doing a session or teaching something or doing a talk or whatever, just walking up to people and saying, hey, what is that you're making in that still? I don't know what that is, but it tastes pretty good. But you can learn all kinds of stuff.
It's for fuel. It's for fuel.
It makes
Greta
really
would
good
not approve.
tinctures. It makes really good tinctures for what.
Yes, that's what it's for.
But there's all kinds of people that you can learn all kinds of stuff from. And I mean, even the very first festival that we went to, which is the first time that I met Nicole, she did a pantry talk. It was
Back to the land.
Back to the land. Yes.
Yeah.
And Randy and I went because we wanted to learn how to butcher a hog. And Billy Bond was going to be there teaching how to butcher a hog with Darren Strong. And when we got home, we had gotten, that was the first year that we were homesteading. And when we bought our farm, we bought 3 pigs, right? We got home and they had gotten up to, the piglets had gotten up to probably about, 125 pounds. One of those pigs had impaled itself on a post. It ran the post over and impaled itself on the post. When we came home from that festival on Sunday, we had a dead pig. And it hadn't been dead in the morning when the girls came out to feed the animals. And I remember I was like, I don't even know what to do. And we had just been to this thing to learn how to process a hog, but like we didn't have the knives. We didn't have the stuff to do all of this. And I picked up my phone and texted William and I said, hey, this is going on. And he told me what to do. I won't go into the rest of the story because it involved a chainsaw and my husband was really disturbed about that. But we got it done and we composted a pig and the chickens loved it and it all worked out. But I would not have had a clue what to do had I not made connections with people that could tell me what to do.
That is correct. No man, no woman is an island, and we all have to sleep sometime. It makes sense to pack up and find people you're with. With that in mind, I'm going to ask a gotcha question to all 3 of you. Patrick, I'm going to start with you. Name 3 people who are trying to get started on YouTube that you think people should go watch.
Oh, that's easy. My buddy Todd, the Todd. Nowhere Homesteady. Of course, our OG Kyle Chrisman.
Yep.
And then probably I'll give a shout out to, let's see, probably, I don't know. I'm Living Free in Tennessee.
Okay, Living Free in Tennessee. Nicole, name 3 YouTube channels / personalities that you think need to be mentioned tonight.
Okay, so I'm going to start with Chuck Peoples for Homestead Medical. His channel should have more followers than it does.
Yes. Straight
And
quality.
The information he gives is fantastic. I'm actually madly pulling up. Okay, so this is not a YouTube, but it's a podcast.
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called, but Janet the Knitter does it. So hopefully Letty's going to put that in there. It's a sewing podcast,
Okay.
but it's not a woke sewing
Chuck!
podcast.
Chuck is in the house.
Chuck is in the house. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
We've been talking about you, Chuck.
That's weird. You
Chuck
mentioned
is
his
gonna
name
be
and he
going
pops up.
to us at our festival.
What? What?
All right.
Do it again.
So-
Do it again.
So back to Nicole. You had Chuck Peoples and you had Janet the Knitter.
Well, then I'm just gonna go to you, Spags. People need to follow you.
Oh God, no! People are gonna get triggered if they follow me.
That's right. Then they need to be triggered.
All right,
It's an election
Shelley,
year.
name 3 YouTube channels or personalities that people should go check out.
I hate being put on the spot. Okay, you should go check out Jason at Kentucky Sustainable Living, his YouTube channel. He's been really, really putting out some good content here lately and trying to build his channel up. You should also go check out the Permaculture Consultant. That's William Bond's new channel. And he's just starting off with that. He went back to their old place in Texas, and he is turning that into a permaculture classroom. So go check that out. And another channel that I really like because I'm trying to learn more about my rabbits is Tealstone Homestead. I really like that channel. I would like to try to get her at one of our festivals. She knows a
Tealstone,
lot.
like
Yeah.
Teal?
Teal Stone Homestead.
Okay.
I really like her channel.
All right. Well, if
Can
I'm
I
gonna
say
get-
one more? Can I say one
Yeah.
more? Strand
Hell
Farm.
yes.
Go
Don't
check
ask my
out Strand
permission.
Farm.
You do you. You do
Okay.
you. Who is it?
And it's the Straight Stitch podcast.
Straight Stitch.
Thank
Like
you,
I
Letty
knew
Lou.
that. That's one of those like you put me on the spot and then names go.
Letty Lou got you. Letty's got your back.
Letty's always got me.
Thank you,
Letty
Letty.
Lou is awesome on our Discord too. She
I know,
does
that's-
all the work.
I was like,
man.
thanks
She
to
is
Letty.
awesome.
The SRF is on your Discord. Thank you, Letty.
All right, Shelley, what's your 4th? What's your honorable mention?
Strand Farm. Go check out theirs. They're really, I love their channel. It's that they're out in a trailer, like a RV trailer, and just building a whole permaculture thing. They're out in the middle of the woods. I just love it. They're awesome.
Nice.
Okay, and Letty just brought up another one that I would have totally said.
Thank you, Mr.
Willow's
Landfill.
Sunshine Prepper.
Sunshine Prepper.
She
All right.
reports on the news with a happy tone of voice.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. So it's like
She's
listening to
hilarious.
NPR without the slant.
Yeah.
Chris Watkins in the house.
All right. Well, so now we have everybody else's suggestions. So I'm going to give my 3. I'm obviously going to give a shout out to Local Prepper. Those of you who have not found Local Prepper, you need to go find Local Prepper. He's a friend of mine. He's a friend of the festival. And he's putting his own show on with Jester Doom from It's Doomsday podcast called Prep Stop. And it's going to be in the fall. And it's going to be on the East Coast. So that's an East Coast show, something outside of what we do. So that's awesome to check out. You should also go check out Toolman Tim. He's a Canadian who absolutely is on board with everything the rest of us do. He's been to all of our events, and he will continue to come to all of our events as he can. And then I want to give a shout out to Grumpy Acres. I know we've mentioned them already tonight a couple of times, but Grumpy Acres Farm is a fantastic channel if you want to just get some philosophical stuff from Grumpy or some recipes from Angie. So go check those 3 channels out. And of course, my honorable mention will always be in Northeast Kansas, Life Done Free with Tag. Go check that channel out as well. So we are now down to the last 12 minutes, folks. So let's start. I'm going to go counterclockwise. Patrick, what are your final thoughts?
Don't just be a sayer, be a doer. You know, if you're scared, go to church. But I can't help you if you don't come to me or if you don't give me the opportunity to come to you. And I can't do that if you're hiding behind your keyboard or at your house. You have to come to SRF. You have to come to KSL. You have to come to the MPP festival. Let's talk and let's build a game plan. Let's build a mag. You know what? Let's just build a church. I don't care. I'm down for all those.
Awesome. Shelley, what say you?
You can't do this on your own. You really can't. I mean, you might be sitting there thinking that you can grow all your food and raise all the animals and do all this stuff, but without community, it's it ain't gonna work. It really ain't gonna work. So come and build community. Come check out these festivals. Meet some really awesome people. Ask your questions. Learn your stuff. I promise you, you'll have a great time.
Awesome. Nicole, what's your final word?
The system has taught you that you cannot break out of what the system is, and that you're too poor to not use the cheap stuff in the system to keep your life together. And what I know after going to all of these festivals, except for Kentucky Sustainable Living, which my first time is in 3 weeks and I can't wait.
Yes.
And meeting people who do all of the things that we worry about. I've got medical providers. I've got herbal medicine providers. I've got somebody who prints Hollow Rose stickers. I've got all sorts of contacts from these who cost more than Walmart. And now that I've started spending money on our people, I have more prosperity in my life.
Yes, ma'am.
The system is wrong. The cheapest is not the right answer. Come to these festivals and get to know people.
100%.
Amen, Nicole. Amen.
Get to know these people. These
All right,
people,
folks.
These people.
Yep. So here's the deal. March is coming up, 23rd, 24th.
23rd and 24th.
Will be
Remember to use coupon code email 25 to get $10 off your ticket.
Yes. So March 23 and 24, Saturday and Sunday, get your ass to Kentucky Sustainable Living in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I have been there with Patrick. It was a fantastic event. You need to go there. The next live that you will see all of us and potentially more of us on is going to be April 18th. It's another Thursday. April 18th will happen prior to the Self-reliance Festival. I'm sorry?
March 18th.
I thought it was March 28th.
March 28th.
No, it's April 18th.
March 28th.
That's the next tour live.
I'm so confused.
So our next live stream, you're right, it is March 28th, which is right after Kentucky Sustainable Living, or right before.
Right.
Yeah, that's a recap.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to be there, and we're going to do this more and more. You're going to see more of these Great American Preparedness Tour lives where the 3 shows come together like you saw tonight. And we are going to absolutely floor you with amazing things in your local areas. Get out of your comfort zone. Get off your ass. Prep and homestead like never before.
It's great.
All right, guys. Anything else?
No, I'm good. It was good seeing you. You guys all have a great night. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Shelly. Thank you, Spags.
See y'all later.
All right.
Sorry, you guys got the crud, Jason. Catch you next time. Good night, guys.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.